Ladies and gentlemen,
let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Yes. Welcome into the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show, that show that you've chosen to download or actually view live. We appreciate you guys. By the way, want to talk to us? 214-937-0569. That is how to get in touch with the show, or comment down below, leave a like, hit a subscribe button, do all the things that you need to do. But as I said, my name is Colby Sapp, and that guy's name is IndyCarTim. What's up, IndyCarTim?
Hello, Colby, Whiskey, Sapp. Happy Wednesday to you, sir.
Shots fired.
Wow.
There's a couple of things. By the way, it's been a long-ass time since I've uttered those two words on an actual microphone.
It is.
If you've been waiting for those, well, you know, you're already winning. A couple things I needed to run through the little test fire line here on the intro, but we did get through watching Ahsoka just a second ago, and we're not going to get into a full review, but my initial thoughts watching it have been kind of confirmed. For some reason, this feels more Star Wars than other shows have felt Star Wars-y.
Yeah, we talked about that watching it a little bit after here before the show because, as I mentioned, and you agree, or you mentioned and I agreed, I don't remember who brought it up, but all of these, Star Wars one-off series feel like Star Wars.
Right.
But not the Star Wars, like the central Star Wars universe that we're used to watching and paying attention to and keeping up with. But Ahsoka kind of is a little throwback because we're seeing a lot of familiar things.
A lot of familiar things, and just the way it's kind of flowing, it really has a callback to not like almost like an Empire feel to it a little bit. Now, of course, some of the other stuff may have felt more like the prequels, and nothing has really felt like the new trilogy, which actually, thank God. So I'm really excited with this. They did release how many people watched the first episode on opening night. Disney normally doesn't release numbers, and they did release that number was 14 million people on opening night said, no, we're going to check this out. So that's actually really cool. That's actually really cool. That gives a little credence to that show. Other things I did want to get into is we need to do some paying off of things that we've discussed on this show, and it's been offered to me as a reminder. We did this the other night, where it may have been pre-show. You looked at me and you said something along the lines of, "We never did that hash brown ice cream thing."
Oh God, I'd open my big mouth.
And so that now has to be worked out.
Yep.
We're going to have to go ahead and complete that because we can't keep doing this. Hey, we'll do this at some point and then never do it.
But that's what I like. I like saying I'll do it, and then I don't have to do it.
Right. So, no, that's got to be a thing. That has to be a thing.
All right.
But I had a random conversation with my daughter. She was giving me her
This birthday Blaze?
This is birthday Blaze. She was, yeah, because the other daughter will kill me if I use her name again on air. But I can't say she doesn't exist, so I will just have to, Blaze doesn't care. So anyway, we're texting back and forth, and she was giving me her subscription code to one of the, it's Crunchyroll. It's the anime, like Netflix. It's the anime Netflix.
Oh, it's a streaming thing?
It's a
I thought
streaming
you meant like
service.
the sushi. I like California Crunchy Rolls.
So she was like, hey, if you ever want to, anything you want to watch on that, here you go. Here's my email and password and blah, blah, blah. And a couple of things. First of all, we don't email as a family, so I'm never worried about what my kid's email is. Her email, and I'm not going to give it all the way out.
Oh, no.
But it had clippers in it. As in at one point in time when she was making this email, she was a Clippers fan.
What the hell?
So I immediately said, first of all, thank you, because there are some shows on Crunchyroll that I would really like to check out. And secondly, the Clippers.
Like, how long ago do you think this was?
She said that this was because of when Chris Paul and Blake Griffin were doing their thing.
Okay.
Over there.
Gross. Okay.
So, and, it was pretty big, the whole posterizing dunks they were doing on everybody with DeAndre Jordan and all that, too. I can see, because that watching highlights from them seemed fun. So I could see the cabbage on to happen, but
is she just a basketball fan in general?
She is a basketball fan.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably more anime and everything else that she spends her time with, but if there's a basketball game on and she's there, she'll be like, all right, cool, we'll watch that.
Huh.
I'm in.
She like the Mavericks?
I'll try to talk to her about the Mavericks every once in a while. She's just like, yeah, Luka's really good.
Being polite, Colby.
She is being polite.
More than me.
Yes. She didn't learn a lot of her etiquette from me,
right?
Because I'd have been real straightforward with stuff.
Right.
Actually don't know where she got that etiquette from because I don't think it was from her mom.
It wasn't from Mama.
I
don't know.
I'm now in a ditch that I have no idea where to go from.
Let me pull you out, Colby.
No, don't leave me here.
I'm not very good at pulling things out.
No, you're not. Look at all your kids. How did we get here?
We're going there too.
So, but yeah, man, she's done this before to me, and I don't know because I don't think any of my kids are like actual home team sports fans. Like none.
You're a bad sports father, Colby.
None of them. Well, apparently, maybe I just figured not doing it like my dad did, which was you can either root for this team or you can get out.
Yep.
And he was serious.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that, and I did stop things from happening, like, because, so Blaze's grandmother was a big Oklahoma Sooner fan.
Okay.
And she would every once in a while send over Sooner gear for baby Blaze to wear. And it never actually made it anywhere near Blaze.
Yeah, we had occurrences like that in my household as well.
So
UT stuff. Nope, that's right in the trash.
Man, that's sacrilege, sir.
It's right in the trash. The OU stuff that showed up in my house, right in the trash. Never.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
And then I had some Arkansas stuff show up. I don't even know who sent it.
What?
It just went right in the trash.
Man, Jerry Jones loved your kids, dude.
I mean, don't forget my kids. My two of my kids. My numbers 2 and 3 from the same mama.
By the way, this is how he keeps track of his kids.
Yeah, I just number them.
Yeah. Hey, 4, come in here.
You know what's funny is they all know each other what number they are. I can yell, "Hey, 6!" and Parker comes running because he's the youngest that I know of. Yeah, so like their mom, I was number 2 husband for her, and we're talking 2001. She's a year younger than me. She continued to keep rolling through husbands.
Okay.
And before the kids lived with me full time, they had gotten up to stepdad number 8.
It seems like a high number.
And we'll just put it this way, Colby. The last time she got married, she had to go to another state to get married. You know why? Did you know there's a limit in each state how many times you can get married?
She filled up her husband punch card?
She filled up the punch card, Colby, in the state of Texas. She had to go to Oklahoma to get married again.
Oh, because Oklahoma has no rules.
There's no, I can marry your cousin up there.
That's right. The
like
sooner the better.
But damn, I have it right here.
See what I did there?
Are you Fujiyama?
Pretty sure that's how the wedding ceremony went.
God.
So yeah, they would get, stepdad, whatever fan stepdad is of whatever team, then he's buying that crap for him and they bring it to my house. I'm like, nope, right in the trash. So who knows what stepdad was a Sooners fan and an Arkansas fan. I also had a jarring moment with a child, Colby.
Oh yeah?
This week. As, were you a cusser as a teenager?
Mm-hmm.
I fucking was too, God damn it.
That's right.
That's a hefty punter right there.
That is.
Jesus.
Nobody can see that but us.
Exactly. So, I was too, and I went through my moments where I didn't, and then I did, and but I was careful never to do it in front of my mom, or like my dad didn't give a crap, but I never cussed in front of my mom.
Right.
But boy, howdy, my 17-year-old, he online games, right?
Oh,
that's all he does in his room, and he games. He's got the setup, the screens, the mic, the camera, everything, dude, and he plays a ton of games. He's a big Dungeons and Dragons guy. He does the team Minecraft or what. I don't know what any of it is, right? I just nod my head and go, yeah, hey, good for you. Make some money. That's all I care about. Dude, I was in the kitchen of our house last night preparing some food, and his room is right off. It's actually an office, like the front office of a house,
Right.
Wood floors. It's literally right across the dining room. So his doors don't go all the way down. I can hear everything in it when he's whatever, which is probably good. He went on a cussing rampage that my father would have been proud of and that any Navy man would be proud of.
Nice.
And this rant went on, I don't know, a good 35, 40 seconds, just nonstop words I don't even recognize. And he was online with somebody, and something happened, and dude, he went off. And I stopped, and I was just like, and I'd get closer to the door, and I'm listening, and I don't have to put my ear on. I can hear it through the whole house.
Right.
And the closer I got to the door, I'm like, do I say anything? Do I open the door mid-rant? I just left it alone.
No, you leave that alone. If he's on a good, let him go on the roll,
I let him
man.
go. And I didn't say anything at all until this morning. I'm like, by the way, I might have heard some things coming out of your room. And he knew immediately. He's like, last night. I'm like, yeah. He goes, sorry. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's just a little jarring. You have to understand, I'm your parent. That's a little jarring. And he's like, no, I'm sorry. He goes, I don't normally do that. And then he started to tell me what happened. I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. I don't even know. It's not going to matter. I'm a little bit proud, but don't ever tell your mother.
There's been times, and actually, I think G's posted some of these clips to the YouTube to where I have went left in the middle of a game of some sort, and you lose mind traction to the world. You're no longer there.
Yep.
And all your goal is because you can't hit these people or punch them in real life. The only thing that you've got is the words that are rolling out of your mouth. And the quicker and the more vulgar and the sharper, the better. Because that's the only weapons you've got. And I've went on some just epic. It's the reason why when we play now, we're not in the public chat forum.
Right.
We're
You're
just
on your own.
We're just in a chat party with just us that can hear, because there's frustration times, and I'd rather not be trying to explain to somebody's mama that lives in like Canada or something the reason why I went on an epic dialogue on how their kid is the worst player, and he's probably like 13 or something or 12, and
wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how that happens.
It's just a different world, man, with cussing and kids, I guess, because of the online atmosphere and that whole society, that corner of society that you can't, as a parent, you do your best. Okay, well, you're not, talking to people you shouldn't be, whatever.
Right.
Of course they are. That's what I would be too.
Don't give out your home address.
Yeah, I didn't have that crap. I had CompuServe when I was a kid, in chat rooms like that, and then as an adult. My 300 baud modem on my Commodore 64 and my tape drive, my cassette tape drive.
That's right.
And, of course, parents, when it first happened, were all, careful about stuff. And we're still careful today with social media with our kids and stuff, obviously. But, dude, I feel like kids they experience it so young, they kind of know better than we do sometimes, like, well, I know what to stay away from, Dad. I'm like,
No, they get it, but you kind of hope they didn't learn from trial and error.
Yeah.
As far as the cussing thing goes with my kids, I've always told them, I don't care what you say here in front of me. I really don't.
Right.
But the warning that I always gave out was, here's the thing, though. While you're at school, if I end up getting called in to a teacher conference meeting because you've got what they call a potty mouth, when I walk in there, you realize your dad's coming up to your school, right? And because of that, you realize that I'm going to just be regular old me when I walk in.
Right.
And how well do you think that's going to go over with your teachers or the principal or your friends may think it's funny, but it's not going to be a fun time for you.
No.
So how about this? You'd say whatever the hell you want to in here. Don't call your mama a bitch. Don't ever cuss at me as far as you're being mad at me, because that'll drive me insane. Mm-hmm. But if you're just being funny, then just go. It's fine.
Yeah, just don't make me have to come up to your school, because
I don't want to go up there.
Well, I told my kids the same thing. I said, I promise I will embarrass you.
Right.
I'm not going to come up after school. I'm not going to come up. I'm going to come up in between classes.
Yeah.
And I might be screaming your name.
Mm-hmm.
And I might have my pants pulled up over my stomach.
That'd be a good.
And my hat on sideways, and my socks pulled up to my knees with my shorts on. I'm Eli's dad. Anybody seen Eli? I would do it too.
See, I would roll up as, well, just as me. I wouldn't try anything. Holy jeans, everything else.
Just embarrassing already.
Yeah. Random bandanas wrapped around random body parts.
So all my kids' friends think I'm a badass because of the beard and the bike and the clothes and the podcast and everything. You're like, oh, man, Eli's dad's a badass. Wish my dad was like that. Well, you should, because I am a badass. And I'm a catch, by the way, ladies.
Keep trying to explain that to all 8 of your wives.
Ex-wives, sir.
There you go. Oh, we skipped by totally. What day is it, huh?
Yeah, and we're way out of. Oh, wait. It's not time yet, is it? I know I forgot something.
Oh, hey, so Tim.
Producing on the air here.
What day is it today?
I forgot my own segment, Colby.
You know, I mean, I was
What the hell, dude?
hitting my music, and I'm like, all right, dude. I
Jeez.
turned over my paper and unveiled the.
I was getting uncomfortable talking about cussing at my kids.
I said the word unveiled.
Unveiled. I like to eat me some unveiled for dinner.
Is that like old cow?
Yeah.
All right, then.
Something.
We're all drunk.
Colby, it is today. August 30th. Almost forgot what day it was. August 30th, 2023, in the year of our Lord. We've got some crazy what days. Today's day is it today?
What?
But maybe the most relaxing possible what day is it I can think of today.
Okay.
And I don't know how you feel about this, because you got your beach people and you got your mountain people.
Right.
I kind of feel I'm a little bit of both. But today is National Beach Day, Colby.
Life's a beach, Tim.
And then you die.
That shirt was funny. Like, I don't know.
I think I had a T-shirt that said that like in 8th grade.
Everybody had that T-shirt at some
Life's
point
a
in time.
beach. And you thought it was dirty, so you're like, giggle, I wore a beach shirt.
Yeah.
Son of a beach. Speaking of cussing.
I like the beach, but man, just really give me that crisp morning in the forest. You don't even have to be in the mountains. Just that's the thing. The crisp morning in that forest situation. That's my zen zone right
Yeah, I dig all of that. And I do like the beach. I like the water. I hate the sand.
Because of the sex thing.
I'm okay having sex in the sand.
No, that's the worst.
You ever woken up next to
you
a
get
strange
grit
woman
You get grit in your pits.
on the beach, and you're both naked, but you woke up before her, but you don't remember how you got there, so you just sneak away, and then it takes you days to get the sand out from your cracks and crevices.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been there too, huh? I feel like we've all been there at some point. It's not as bad as the morning I woke up at Mardi Gras spooning a homeless dude on Royal Street in New Orleans.
Never. Mm-mm.
Never done that before?
No, that's all you, bud.
It was a little, still not sure of that whole story. Colby, it's Frankenstein Day.
One of the background stories to about 12 of your modern superheroes is the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
And the Frankenstein's monster, to be exact. Not just because, I mean, yes, it's Dr. Frankenstein. He's the supposed star of Frankenstein. But there you go.
Yeah, and by the way, the monster's name isn't Frankenstein.
It's just Frankenstein's monster.
It's Frankenstein. The doctor is Frankenstein.
That's what I just said.
No, I know. I'm telling everyone out there.
Okay.
Because they call the monster Frankenstein. Well, no. Frankenstein was the doctor, and the monster was just Frankenstein's monster.
Right.
Which is weird when they came up with the sequel, Bride of Frankenstein.
He was,
This wasn't the doctor's bride.
No.
So I can see how it's confusing for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I could see how it could be dangerous for you. But really, if the government trusts me, maybe you could.
How are you there from where you were?
Top Gun. That's my favorite pickup line from Top Gun. Colby, it is, and this is very near and dear to my heart, as Frankenstein is to your, or Frankenstein is to yours. It is international, not national, international Cabernet Sauvignon Day.
Little cab.
Love me a good cab, man.
There's some really good cabs out there. Some really good bottom shelf cabs that nobody buys. They're actually really good.
Well, I need all of your cab recommendations, like cheap, mid-range, even some expensive bottles, because I am a connoisseur of cab.
Your Cabernet Sauvignon that surprised me, that's always on the foot shelf.
Yeah.
It's the bottom shelf. Carnivore.
I like Carnivore. I've had that. It's not bad.
It's a bottom shelf goodie.
It's usually pretty cheap, too,
That's the reason why it's the foot shelf goodie.
because you might accidentally kick it over. It is also International Day of the Victim.
The Victim.
Christ.
Words good, hair now,
I promise I haven't been drinking yet, folks.
people say.
It is International Day of the Victims of Enforced Disappearances.
Kidnap victims? Did they just...
So,
Wait, no. Did they just rename kidnap victims to make it 8 words long?
I'm guessing that's what this means, because it is international. I'll say it again if I can. International Day of the Victims of Enforced Disappearances.
Kidnap victims.
And it says involuntary disappearances happen every day, so use your voice to raise awareness of this global issue. Did they just rename kidnapping?
Yes. Is kidnapping a bad term now? Has I not been made aware?
Does that offend people who have been kidnapped?
Maybe, just maybe, it's the people that have been, quote, kidnapped that weren't kids.
Oh my God.
They're like, I'm not a kid. How can I be kidnapped?
Are we serious here?
The term kidnapping offended somebody?
International Day of the Victims of Enforced Disappearances. What the hell, Colby?
That's irritating. That is highly irritating.
Huh.
I'm offended by the offended people that got offended by the term kidnap.
We have to rename it.
Rename it something with, the same amount of syllables, not the words.
It's like the people who have post-traumatic stress disorder or syndrome, right? In battle or wars or whatever. Well, 100 years ago, it was just called shell shock.
Right.
Shell shock. That's it. Man, he came home from the war with shell shock. Now he doesn't have shell shock. He has post-traumatic stress disorder. I think there's even a longer name for it now.
Right.
Why do we have to keep making names of things longer?
Well, PTSD, okay, get it. Understand it.
But it's the same thing as shell shock.
It is.
It's the same thing.
It is, but that shell shock got taken over by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they got hit.
Oh, my God. We need
on
to get
the
into that.
arcade game. It was shell shocked.
Was it? I never
Yeah.
played it. Mm-hmm. I'm out. Colby, it's also International Whale Shark Day. If you like that. I'm not space shark, not space whale. Mark. It's also National Grief Awareness Day.
Okay, so you need to be aware that grief is a thing.
It just says raise awareness for the myriads of ways in which individuals cope with loss.
Okay.
So I get that, I guess. Colby, it is International Harper Day. Join us as we unmask the history of the name Harper.
Oh, I thought it was just people that played the harp.
Harper the Harper.
That's right.
And I feel like Harper could be male or female.
It can.
Wait, I'm not supposed to say male or female. It could be any sexual orientation. Maybe that's the wrong word, too. I'm digging a hole right now.
I don't know if you are or not, to be honest with you.
I don't know which direction to go there.
Hey, I've heard through music that there's only one direction.
That's a terrible direction. Mm-hmm. Colby, it's National Holistic Pet Day.
What?
Care for your pet with the same generosity you give your own mind, body, and spirit.
Yep. Feed them eggs.
I agree with that. They eat the same food I eat.
Pretty much.
A day near and dear to both of our hearts. National Toasted Marshmallow Day.
It's close. I need to leave those toasted marshmallows on that fire just a little bit longer.
Yeah, because you don't need them toasted. You need them burnt.
Need them burnt. I need the
A little crust.
I need the criggle craggles on the outside and the melted gooeys to be almost to the center and just have that little bit of chew in that middle next to that clothes hanger.
And I'm all in on that. It is also National Slinky Day.
Never could get that damn thing to go all the way down the stairs. Stop after like 2 or 3 stairs.
I feel like the commercial was a lie because it just, even the ones in the 70s with the metal slinkies, it looked way too easy, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I had was the metal slinky.
Yeah, me too.
Like 2 days later, it had some kind of knot in the slinky, and just you'd go to do this number right here, where it just go back and forth for a little bit, and that's it. It's done.
Colby, how about National Lemon Juice Day?
Hey, it's good in drinks. I mean, that's about it.
It is. It is. And finally, I didn't see this before. Colby, it is National Chop Suey Day.
The song?
The food.
Either way is good.
What's the song?
Chop Suey is a song by System of a Down.
Oh, I'm unfamiliar.
You probably have heard it before.
Think?
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to System of a Down. I can't place the song.
Wake up. Why don't you put a little makeup? That song.
Okay, I got you.
No, you don't.
I did until you just said that. All right, if we can reestablish our footing here. I've derailed us so many times.
If you liked my rendition of System of the Down's Chop Suey, I'm sorry.
Oh, by the way, Colby, we forgot to talk about we have a guest tonight.
We do have a guest tonight.
Coming up after the break, follows this segment right here. We've got one, Jeff Tito Thidoff from 97.1 The Fan in Columbus, Ohio, who also happens to be a fantasy football draft expert.
Woo!
He's coming on to talk some fantasy football with us via video here.
So if you have any fantasy football questions and you're
Yeah.
watching the live feed, then, throw them out there on the comments. We'll make sure that Tim's eyeballing those things and we can get them to Mr. Tito himself.
Let's have some fun with some fantasy football talk.
By the way, this is that segment, everybody, where we go through all the people that were born today. I make a list of the people that I think are most important, and I offer them to you, along with Tim and myself, and we decide who is the good person, who is the bad person, and who is the ugly person. Starting off today, turning 45 years old, and he saved the Rangers once.
Uh-oh.
Cliff Lee.
Clee.
That's right.
Man, that was quite a trade when they pulled that off.
It was.
To get Cliff Lee from the Mariners in exchange for Blake Bevan
I believe so.
and a couple of other players. By the way, Blake Bevan. It was Bevan, but people kept misspelling his name in the newspapers and stuff as Blevin. Oh, I'll recall that as well too.
Bert Blylevin.
Believe he went on to be literally nothing in the major leagues.
Pretty much.
So I'll take that trade. He's only 45.
He's only 45. You think we
Man.
get him back, throw some heaters?
Well, he's a lefty. We always need lefties.
That's right. Passed away in 1970, but I grabbed him because I recognized his last name. I'm not sure if I should know him, but Bruce McLaren.
Oh, Colby. You know Bruce McLaren.
Do I?
If you've heard of Formula One.
I thought so.
Yes, Bruce McLaren, the president and founder of McLaren Motorsports. Popular in the Trans Am SCCA series. Of course, Formula One McLaren team that's been around and been dominant. All the big names have raced for McLaren at some point or another. They're not so dominant now, but they'll come back. They're trying to compete with Mercedes and Red Bull and AlphaTauri and all those guys. They'll be back, though.
Robert Parrish turned 70 years old today.
The Chief.
The Big Chief. heard from Skin today on The Freak the reason why he was called the Chief.
Well, I thought it was because he had Indian blood in him.
It's marijuana.
They had that back then?
Yeah.
They had marijuana back then?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I was not aware of that. I don't think that was
I
told
don't know
to
if that
us
was
as
a
kids.
joke or not, but there you go.
I thought he had Native American blood in him, and that's why. By the way, the only exception to my number rule of zeros being bad numbers, because he was Robert Parrish and he wore the 00, and it didn't look bad. So I'll accept the 00 on Robert Parrish, but nobody else can wear zeros or 00s in pro sports. It looks terrible.
Well, everybody else can too.
No, I said no.
Well, you don't matter. Andy Roddick turns 41 years old today.
Colby, the original A-Rod.
Yes. Of course,
The only one that should have ever been called that.
I kind of think if I had the name Andy Roddick, I would have just went by Erotic.
That would have been better than A-Rod, huh?
Mm-hmm. Michael Chiklis turned 60 years old today.
The commish.
The commish. Also, The Thing. Big Ben in the Fantastic Four, the first two movies.
And I want to say he played Curly Joe in a
Three Stooges
Three
thing?
Stooges setup, yeah. I mean, you can see that, right? If you,
I mean, I can totally see that.
I think he did, yeah.
Ted Williams' head's still alive, but his body's passed away in 2002.
That was a tough sports death for me, man. I'm not gonna lie.
The Ted Williams.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Sybil did confirm on the text line that yes, I am pretty damn loud on
All right.
on the damn game. This is a person that you should check out his YouTube channel. It's one Will Tennyson. He turns 29. He does a lot of like exercise, but also like challenge videos
Oh, okay.
where he's like going to eat like The Rock or train like this person or do this. He's really funny. So he was like in the top 10 on famousbirthdays.com. And I was like, oh my God.
wow.
And I watch his videos. Weird. So Will Tennyson, 29, 93 years old today. Warren Buffett.
He needs to die soon.
It's because,
I feel like he's got so much money, that money needs to be spread out a little bit.
I mean, you think it will be?
I'm supposed to get some of it.
Are you?
No.
You friends?
No.
Is he the guy that's got his toenails in a jar?
I haven't heard that.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
All right.
Should be a segment, though.
Ryan Ross turns 37 years old. He's the guitarist for Panic at the Disco.
Colby, I don't know. Actually, I do. There's only one band worse than Panic at the Disco.
Really?
Arcade Fire is worse than Panic at the Disco. Those two bands are way up there with the worst possible of all time.
No, as far as singers and just, I mean, yeah, they're a little poppy, and no, they're not my style, but no, I can't agree with you.
I don't get it.
I can't agree with you. That
Must mean I'm right.
No, you're not right.
I'm always right.
No, there's a lot of things about music that you're really wrong about.
Inconceivable.
And turning 51 years old today, and she can dance around in underoos anytime she wants. For me, Cameron Diaz.
So, I do not disagree. We're used to really anything she's ever been in, she danced around in her skivvies, right? I mean, that's kind of her trick.
Right.
So the first movie I think she did, her first big breakout role was The Mask.
Yes.
She looked good in The Mask.
She looked larger than any other time she's ever been.
And, she must have not liked the way she looked on camera at that point because she probably lost another 40 pounds after that.
I mean, her fronties and her backies, all of that were...
Yeah, all of that went down.
Right.
But then, of course, you had the Charlie's Angels Cameron Diaz.
Yep.
Maybe the best Cameron Diaz ever? Or did you like Something About Mary that you probably never saw because it's a comedy?
No, actually, I did see Something About Mary and did not like it.
Of course you didn't.
Didn't like it.
Wouldn't expect it, but did you like her in it?
I mean, no.
She didn't get naked or anything.
I didn't really like any. I mean,
why'd you watch it? Who forced you to watch it?
I was told it was the funniest movie of all time and that I needed to go. And I think I chuckled once. And it was because the beans were above the Franks.
Franks and beans. Did you like the image that they showed? They flashed on screen real quick.
And nah, I mean,
you ever gotten your Frank and beans caught in a zipper?
So I was
Mark.
But I think the mass Cameron Diaz was probably ultimate Cameron Diaz for me.
Because, yeah, I think so too, because she got a little skinny.
But
not bad. Like, I'll take Charlie's Angels. Cameron Diaz.
Well, just about everybody on Charlie's Angels and being like, yeah, sure. What's going on?
You can't go wrong with that for sure.
So there you go. There is your good, bad, and ugly famous people for today. As I stall, as Tim looks around on the Facebook trying to figure out if there's any Facebook birthdays. By the way, if you had any good, bad, and ugly, or hell, it's your birthday today, or a couple of days ago, and we missed it, go ahead and text us in. Let us know about the birthdays.
Colby, a couple of Facebook birthdays here as we get into, as we wrap up September here. One of my favorite ex-waitresses / bartenders from my old Firehouse 52 days, one Tiffany Brantley, turns 38 today. She was a hot from back in the day.
Gotcha.
Good friend of mine from the old neighborhood before her and the hubby and the kid moved off to that Miami Beach several years ago. Natasha Schlinkert, you know who you are. She turns 40.
Does she know who she is?
And then, Colby, I've got to give a very special shout out to a very special person here on birthdays. It's not today, but it's Saturday when Colby, my old high school principal, has a birthday. Can you imagine how much time? Now, you know me now. Now, imagine me from high school, right?
Right.
Can you imagine how much time I spent in the high school office / counselor / principal's office? Like every day.
Yeah.
Regular trips every day.
Probably average, 15 minutes a
Oh,
day?
at least.
Okay.
At least. And Colby, my high school principal, Mr. Mac Dennis, turned 73 today. Special shout out for him for putting up with me and for making me the man that I am today. I don't know if he had anything to do with it. But
Damn it. Well, he doesn't need to be cheered because he's messed up. That's what happened.
he was cool, though, man. I liked him. Everybody, we had one of the popular principals, right? Like everybody liked Mr. Dennis. And then we got some other school ones for next. We'll wait for those till Monday, though, when that time comes around. Colby, my good. As I go down a pretty lackluster list here.
It's not really lackluster for goods.
I mean, yeah, we've got your Cliff Lee, your Bruce McLaren, your Robert Parrish, Michael I mean, yeah, they're all goods, right? Except for Will Tennyson, Ryan Ross, and Warren Buffett. But if I had to narrow it down to one, Cameron Diaz.
All right.
I have to roll with Cameron Diaz here. As my good. Colby, my bad. Because he plays in one of the top 2 worst bands of all time is Ryan Ross.
Okay.
There's 0 question, 0 thought there. My ugly, because he was. Don't care how dominant he was on the boards there in the 80s. Colby, Robert Parrish is my ugly.
Gotcha.
I just can't.
My good. You took Cameron Diaz.
We can double up on. Hey, I will double up Cameron Diaz with you any day.
You know what? I'm not splitting her like a watermelon with you. Sorry, dude.
Make what is it? The Eiffel Tower? What is the thing? The bridge,
yeah,
London
we
Bridge.
high five.
Yeah, the London Bridge.
I'll go with Will Tennyson as my good. How about that?
YouTube guy.
Actually, no. Scratch that. Because of how much I've heard that this guy is the greatest guy on the planet. Andy Roddick's my good.
It's pretty good, Colby.
My bad is because, well, I mean, it's got to be bad just because I don't He was from the 70s, and he was a race car driver. And every picture of a 70s race car driver that I've ever seen they're not nice people. So I'm going to go with Bruce McLaren as my bad.
All right.
And the ugly, I mean, he's just a head. It's got to be Ted Williams, right? There's nothing beautiful about being just a head.
I can't believe we had Ted Williams on our list today, and Baseball Tim didn't make him as good.
Oh, I mean,
Slipping.
Mm-hmm.
Colby Tito's in the green room. We're going to get to him after the break. Why don't you take us to break here, though?
So coming up next, if you have fantasy football questions, hell, if you like fantasy football, or maybe you already know everything about fantasy football, but you're about to find out that you don't. Because we got Tito next. Yes, the same guy that I'm calling out in the commercials. Hey, Tito! That's next on the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show.
Hello, sports fans.
FanStream Sports.
Hey, you like golf? There's a good chance you do, because I said so. But what do you need playing golf? Well, you need clubs, right? Clubs, you need balls. The thing that people don't usually think about is that golf bag. And that's what most people see when they look at your golf clubs, like right off the bat. And if you've got a raggedy bag, it's not doing you any favors, bud. So get you a new bag. Go over to orca-golf.com. Orca-golf.com. Why are you going there? You're going there because you want a golf bag, but you want one that's kind of screams you. So you want to pick the colors. Well, you can use your own custom colors. Maybe you have a logo in mind. Maybe it's your logo. You're like Prince. You just have a symbol. That's the case. Dude, you can get your logo on there. Your name, just get it done exactly like what you want it done. By actual designers. Nothing goes out of their factory without the approval of the founder, Erica Bennett, who is just brilliant. We've seen some of her bags. We've got one of them actually in the studio. And you know what? Dude, it looks good. If you want other people to look at your golf setup and go, man, that just screams Frank. You want that? Then go over to orca-golf.com. Do yourself a favor and use the promo code DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. I'll say that again, DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. So do it today because Orca Golf is the best choice in the game.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything. Turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
All right, guys, time to talk a little bit about turf life. You've seen the hats on our heads. You've been or seen the video of the studio. You've seen that the decals are all over the place. Turf Life. Man, it's the brand that salutes the consumer and industry players everywhere whose lives involve turf. What does that mean? That means if you play or have a business or, maybe you're a sports educator, you're going to be on turf at some point. So you live the turf life. So go ahead and tell everybody you live the turf life by having your Turf Life window decal or, the hat or the keychain or the something. Along that lines, just go to turflifeclub.com and become a turf head. That's what it's called when you live the turf life. You're now a turf head. And you can go join the club today and snag that window decal or snag any other special Turf Life accessories and go over there to that website, which is turflifeclub.com, and get your stuff and show everybody that, man, I'm all about that turf life. And then you just kind of raise your coffee mug at them and go, yeah, turf life, baby. That's what it's about. And then that's the end of the commercial. Ding. That means it's done in microwave talk.
Hey, listeners, make sure you check out the brand new FanStream Sports in-studio text line. You can reach us during any of our live shows or 24/7 at 214-937-0569. That's 214-937-0569. Text us 24/7, day or night, and we'll reply to you and make you part of the show.
Coming back at you.
Now, more FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the Colby Sapp and IndyCarTim show. I am IndyCarTim. That guy over there, if you're watching on video, is Colby Sapp. On a Wednesday, on a non-118-degree Wednesday here in Dallas. It only got up to 98, so my beard's still sweat a little bit, but that's okay. Colby, we don't often talk fantasy football here.
No, we don't.
but we do occasionally. And I would like to bring in here, as we've got him in the green room. I'll try this other setup here and see how bad that one looks. Oh, that looks terrible.
Oh, wait, hang on, wait, I'll move over. Hang on, there, it's perfect.
Look at that, Colby. Yeah, technology.
That's amazing.
Pro,
Dude, look at this. Welcome in, Tito. How are you, brother?
dude, I am multitasking. I've got 2 drafts I'm doing while I'm talking to you, believe it or not.
So that's kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about, because not only is Tito, Mr. Jeff Thidoff from 97.1 The Fan up there in Columbus, Ohio. By the way, you can hear him on The Fan up there on the weekends when they decide to let him on the air. You're not on suspension still, are you, for talking to that athlete like that, were you?
No, there's no suspension on that one. No. I'm back in the good graces, I believe. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. So
Yeah.
not only does he do all that fan stuff up there, he's a draft or fantasy football expert, and he also has this side gig that I'm intrigued by, and I don't play fantasy anymore.
Right.
And I can't remember the website. Is it fantasydraftproxies.com?
FantasyDraftProxies.com, and it's a guy. I didn't start it up. A buddy of mine started it up, and basically you pay the you can log into there if you don't want to do your draft or don't know anything about football or can't do your draft for whatever reason. You can hire someone like myself or Chad Rank, who co-hosts Fantasy Football Now on Fantasy Sports, also to do your draft for you. And like, I'm busy now. I got one that's finishing up. I know it's halfway through. I got a 10 o'clock Eastern time auction that starts tonight. But because fantasy football has kind of become the bowling league from like the 70s kind of thing, where it's a social thing. And so there's people that want to do fantasy football because they see people talking about it around the office. It's a bonding thing sometimes, where some of their buddies, and you get a guy who's not very good at it, and they want help with it, and so they hire us. I mean, it's amazing. It's a great service, but it's amazing how busy we are this weekend right here, especially, for sure.
So is that not considered cheating in the fantasy football world if you pay somebody else? I mean, if I'm in a bowling league and I pay somebody to go bowl the 10th frame for me, I'm probably going to be accused of cheating.
I feel like it's the same thing as Rodney Dangerfield hurting his elbow, needing a substitution. So I don't think it's cheating. Yeah, my arm, I need a substitution. Daddy. I think that's what it is. You might call it cheating, I guess, but I think I just call it strategic.
And you guys are hot and heavy now into, as you mentioned, fantasy football now, heard right here on FanStream Sports at fanstreamsports.com and on our app that you can download for Android and iOS. Shameless plug there. Mm-hmm. You guys are hot and heavy now into, several episodes already as we're heading into the season. Mm-hmm. Anything different this year that you're noticing from a positional standpoint? Maybe, I know running backs aren't quite valued so much anymore in fantasy, right, just as they're not in the NFL, but is there anything different entering this year that maybe you haven't experienced before? It's
been very weird when you got guys, depending when you draft. I always tell people, wait as long as possible to draft. Wait as late into the offseason to draft. So if this weekend's ideal to do it, because you've got the Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and currently Jonathan Taylor situation still going on. And so if you drafted 3 weeks ago, you might have taken Jonathan Taylor early, and now you might be regretting that. So the uncertainty with some of the running backs, that is certainly a big part of it. And then also there's been the quarterbacks. I've been able to get great value on quarterbacks later on in drafts. I've been waiting, going past the big names at first, and waiting till like mid rounds to get like Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. And again, it all depends on your format for your leagues. Make sure you know that. That's the huge thing, is to know what the format of your league is. A 6-point passing touchdown league is a lot different than a 4-point passing touchdown league. A full-point PPR is much different than a half-point PPR. Like, there are so many different variables in that you've got to look at. And so make sure you know your league rules first and foremost. But then, the quarterbacks, waiting on them. Running backs, yes, I can wait on running backs too. I'm getting guys like James Cook later on in drafts. I'm getting guys, I haven't looked too much at Dalvin Cook, so I'm not sure what kind of role he's going to play. But James Cook is one. I'm like Rashad White in Tampa Bay. I've been able to wait on running backs and quarterbacks at good value. I've been grabbing, the best receivers I can get. I love Calvin Ridley. As a potential, I love Garrett Wilson this year. Guys, you can get probably early second round, but receivers are in such a premium now versus running backs. That you can get good value on running backs later on.
That's awesome.
So now you're both of you are talking about how far down the running backs are going.
Right.
But in smaller leagues, you're looking at running backs, and that it's running out really quickly. Are you saying like Cooks is somebody you would go to at that point, or I mean, because I saw like looking at like Bijan Robinson,
Right.
like I almost want to pick him like second or third round if he's still there.
Oh, he won't make it that far. He's gotten so much hype now from where it was like 3 weeks ago. If you want to get Bijan Robinson, you've got to use first round draft capital on him. You won't get him late in the first round. He is gone by then. I was just doing a draft right now, and it got to the 6th pick, and Bijan and Travis Kelce were both there, and the guy took Bijan over Travis Kelce. And so Robinson's been the third guy off the board a lot of times after McCaffrey and Eckler in some order. So, and that the running back thing is the same way that NFL teams want to chew up and spit out running backs after a couple of years. They want to get the fresh ones. And Robinson, what I love about him is, even though he plays for an Atlanta team that, maybe what they're going to max out at 7-8 wins, they're going to be behind a lot. But when they're behind, they're going to use Robinson in the slot still. He's going to be out there a lot catching passes in addition to running. I love Bijan Robinson this year. It's gotten to a point now where if you're going to take him, if you want him, you better have a pick in the top 8 because he'll be gone by the time after that.
No, I totally get that.
Has there been any change? We know who the top quarterbacks are, obviously, right. With you've got Mahomes and Burrow. Not necessarily from a fantasy aspect. I've kind of put Josh Allen by the wayside a little bit because of his recent performance in the NFL. From a stats aspect, he's probably still up there. Who would you say your top 5 quarterbacks are, if you can get that deep, as people are going into the draft?
I go Mahomes, Hurts, Allen, and then at 4, as far as where I rank them, I'd probably put Burrow at 4, and then probably Lamar Jackson at 5. But with how high they're going, I would much rather, like I say, I'd much rather have Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence, who I've got like in the 7 to 10 range. Get those guys. Justin Fields will go probably 6, 5 or 6 somewhere in there. It depends on what your preference is on that. And again, your league settings play into that as well. A 6-point passing touchdown, much different than a 4-point passing touchdown. But I found that these big quarterbacks go off early, but I've been successfully getting Herbert and Lawrence. If I wait and let all the other guys waste early capital, I'll grab some stud receiver or running back instead of a quarterback in those spots.
The other position that I really wanted to ask about is, because this is one I have trouble with. Where I don't do a lot of fantasy, but my friends talk me into it. Tight end.
Yep.
Because you end up, Kelsey, everybody knows, right? But then you like Kittle, and then that's it. That's all I've got as far as like constant numbers tight end. Is there somebody else there that you would grab?
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, usually after if you don't get Kelsey, which I never do because I'm not going to spend a first round pick on Kelsey. He's great, but I'm not going to do it. But after Kelsey, you've got like Kittle and Mark Andrews are both up there. TJ Hawkinson's another one. But a guy I like a lot this year, and he's gotten a lot of targets in the preseason, is Darren Waller going to the Giants. He hasn't been healthy for a couple of years. Okay. I like him quite a bit. I've been grabbing him at a good spot also. And then Pat Freiermuth in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, I've got the Steelers hat on here, so it sounds like a homer. But Freiermuth's going to be great for Pittsburgh this year. He's another one that I really like quite a bit. And when you look if you get really screwed on tight ends and you go deep and deep and deep, I mean, if you can't get a Waller or Freiermuth, Sam Laporta is somebody I'm taking a flyer on. Usually it's my second tight end, which I don't normally grab second tight ends, but it kind of depends on how my team is playing out, how many teams are in the league, how many rounds the draft is, and things like that. Sam Laporta in Detroit's been getting rave reviews. He might not be great right away, but he's a guy who could be really good the second half of the season.
Now, on the same tight end thing, where are you putting like Kyle Pitts? Is there any? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kyle Pitts, definitely. Kyle Pitts is still in that. He is probably in that sixth tight end or 7th tight end kind of range. And so I still like Kyle Pitts. Yeah, I think that Atlanta, look, it's hard to gauge what Atlanta's going to do this year. I think they're going to try to keep the ball and move the ball a lot and try to keep the ball out of the other team's hands is what they'll do. And Pitts, did not live up to the hype yet, but I still think Pitts, yeah, he's a 5th or 6th tight end for me. I love Darren Waller. Darren Waller's the guy I'm trying to get.
Okay.
And I had a question for you here, Tito, not about standard fantasy football, but you guys did a show not too long ago that I had the privilege of editing and cutting up and distributing for everybody. You guys talked about auctions, fantasy football auctions. I have never heard until that episode of a fantasy football auction draft, and I was enamored. Like I'm fascinated by this concept. And I'm curious. So this is, if I understand it correctly, you're allowed a certain amount of money, right, or dollars or bids or whatever. and then you basically start bidding against the other guys in the league for players. And you guys had some awesome strategy. If you guys haven't heard of that or listened to it, go back and check out the fantasy auction draft episode of Fantasy Football Now here on FanStream Sports. But I'm curious, so what happens if you don't spend all of your bids or all of your money? Does that carry over? Is there any benefit? Because you were talking about getting guys way cheaper than what other guys were. Other than just having those bids or that money left over for other players, that doesn't carry over or anything, right?
It doesn't carry over. It's such a strange. It's more like chess than a snake draft is. Just because you got typically in most of these, everyone's got $200 to spend on players, and you'll see some people come out and buy huge on a few guys. They'll try to get like 3 studs and then have like 13 roster spots to fill with like $27 left, and they'll try to bargain bin. I typically in auctions, which I love the auction format, what I do is I don't buy a lot early. I want to be in a situation where I'm doing things where I can get guys on the cheap late. And I've had a lot of success. I had one of my best auction drafts ever the other day where I got like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert, which was stupid, for both under like $9 on a draft like this. And so, but you can load up if you have an eye on who the sleepers are. You can wait and get them, and then you've got the guys almost like in a chokehold thing, because they can't bid as much as you can on some of the players that are still really good out there. So I love the auction format. I encourage it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot better. It's harder. Also, what I like about it also is the advantages that, like, I've been playing since 1980, and back then, pre-internet, pre all this other stuff, I guess 80, pre-electricity, pre-indoor plumbing. But it used to be, you got your advantage from doing your own research, and now like everything's on the internet for you to get. So auctions, though, it's harder to find real values because you're not sure who you're going against. I love it. I love the auction thing. I highly recommend it.
Now, all right. So you've given us Waller. You've given us a few other names that you're really loving. Is there anybody else on that thing where it's not top names, but you're like, dude, if this guy's there at this certain point in the draft,
right,
I'm always taking him because I'm sure he's going to do something more than what they think he's going to do this year.
Yeah, if you decide to wait on things, like if you decide to wait on a quarterback long enough, I mean, you could always get – people make fun of the name, but Geno Smith was a top 5 quarterback last year. If you wait long enough and miss out on guys, Geno Smith, and you added Jackson Smith and Jigba to that team, that's a really good player to add to that receiving core they already have. I like him quite a bit. There's running back situations I stay away from. I try not to get involved with a Philly running back. I try to get involved with, like, the Denver running back. Javonte Williams still has value. And now you're at point 2 where Jonathan Taylor – I just talked to Chad Rink a little bit ago. He was doing a draft for somebody, and Jonathan Taylor was there in the 9th round, and he grabbed him because when you get to a certain point with Taylor, you figure he's going to play somewhere this year, you would think. And so, and one of the strategies I have in this, by the way, is that, Colby, is that if you think you're good enough usually to be in the playoffs for your league, if you're good enough, then draft for the second half of the season. Don't worry so much about if Taylor's out 4 games, if Alvin Kamara is out 3 games. Don't worry about Jameson Williams from Detroit, the wide receiver. He's out 6 games. Get great value on him. You can, if you figure I'm playing for the last half of the season, I'm going to be good enough to get through all this, because then draft that way as well. I love John Dodson, the running back, wide receiver in Washington. I love him a lot. Deontay Johnson is somebody else who, in a PPR league for Pittsburgh, he's going to be good because there's no way he's going to go touchdown lists on like 127 targets, whatever he had last year again.
Give us some insight. You said you're doing 2 drafts right now, right? You're in the middle of 2 drafts while you're talking to us?
Yep.
Where are you at in those drafts? How do you feel about them? And is the guy getting his money's worth here?
It's funny. I just finished up one of them. I got to check. They do the projections on the sites. After you get done, they'll say, like, oh, I projected this. And Tim, what I typically do is I will, if it's in my advantageous to me, I'll puff my chest out. If it's not, I'll downplay it. But, like, I've had a pretty good run late. Like in the Yahoo leagues I've done, the last few I've done, I've had a projected 13-1 record, 11-2 record in one other league, depending on the format and things like that. I've done pretty well there. And part of that is because people are idiots and they draft kickers and defenses early. Do not draft a kicker or a defense until the last 2 rounds. Don't do it. Let your friends do it. Let them take a kicker, Justin Tucker, in the 9th round. I don't care. That's fine. I'll wait until the 15th or 16th round to take a kicker. I will wait. In some formats, some leagues, I don't even draft a kicker if I can't. If I can avoid doing it, I won't draft a kicker. I'll pick one up every week. Same thing with the defense. It's not that important in most leagues.
And then finally, Tito, big question here for you. You said you've been doing this since 1980.
Yeah. First pick ever was Brian Sipe, quarterback for the Browns.
Brian Sipe. Number 18, 16.
Number 17.
17.
17
See,
out of San Diego State.
Dancing all around.
You were there.
I knew that. Oh, yeah, I was a Sipe fan back in the day before Kozar came along, obviously. What? So out of all those years now, going back 114 years since 1980, who's been your all-time favorite fantasy football player and why?
Okay, I've got two.
Okay.
One is Ryan Grant for Green Bay because we used to have a rule in our league where you had to be the first one there was no waivers thing. You would just call and say, I'm picking up this guy. And I got Ryan Grant when he had his big Monday night breakout game for Green Bay when he came on and played. And I beat this. Can I say asshole on your show?
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
We encourage it.
Okay. This effing asshole. My rival, I got him right before he did, 30 seconds in advance, and Ryan Grant was great for me for a couple years. That's one. The other one is Derek Mason, former Tennessee Titan, who I loved also. Picked him up on the cheap, and he did well for me. Those are two, like, those ones are dear. There are some leagues I'm in where if I feel like, my God, my team is stacked, I'll get to the end of it, like the last pick, and I still might take Derek Mason or Ryan Grant just to honor them.
That's funny.
That's amazing.
I feel like Colby's over here drafting his league right now while he's talking to you with these questions.
Notes. I'm just making notes. We're good. We're good.
Well, that's good. Well,
Colby,
let's get back to your
get a
draft.
freebie. Colby, you get a freebie. You call me or text me anytime you want, man. You get free advice.
Nice.
Wow. So wait. I might want some free advice, but it ain't going to be fantasy football.
I got fantasy advice for you. Hey, listen. Can I say something real quick? I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good.
The other night, my wife said to me, just, you can tie me up and do whatever you want. And so I tied her up and went to a draft.
Mark. That's going to be a drop into eternity here for us.
That's going to be
fine.
good.
And also against those, so I will ask you as the closing question we ask all the guests on the show.
Yes.
Tito, have you ever experimented with vibrating anal beads?
I have not, but they sound like they could be a lot of fun.
All right, we'll expect a package in the mail coming in the next coming weeks.
No, never
Can't
look at
wait.
the package that's sent from Tim. Never look at the package. Never.
Hey, I'm Manscaped. I'm good to go.
There he is. There's Tito Thidoff. You can find him on 97.1 The Fan there in Columbus and also Fantasy Football Now. He also does the Ohio State Buckeyes Blitz for us,
Damn right.
along with some other things. So go check him out. Tito, we appreciate you popping on with us tonight, brother.
Thanks, boys. Talk to you soon.
There he goes, Mr. Tito.
That's right. So if you're needing that information, you just got it. You missed out a little bit if you didn't ask any questions, which none of you did.
We'll have him on throughout the season, I'm sure, and she'll probably get Chad to come on with us a little bit.
Right.
As the fantasy football season goes. But that was nice. We don't have guests on enough here. We were just talking about that the other day.
No, we need to. We're going to have more on. We're going to have a lot more of the guys from our fan stream empire on with us to make sure and cover the stuff that we're talking about that they know about. And you'll probably see a little bit of us on their shows as well as we try and cross-pollinate.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah, the whole situation. But we do have something coming up that I'm going to be quite frank and honest with you guys. Tim is presenting a bracket to us that I have very low expectations for.
Well, that's the reason we're doing it, Colby, because this is a brackets of sports movie madness. And you would think everybody knows we're sports guys, right?
Yeah.
We must know everything about sports movies. Well, the fact of the matter is I have a tremendous interest in a few sports movies. Very little interest in most sports movies. Colby has zero interest in any sports movies.
Yeah, I don't really like sports movies.
And what's your philosophy behind this?
The main reason is I watch sports. Why do I need to watch a movie about it?
Fictitious?
Yeah.
Fictional?
Now
Fictional sports.
Now, if it's like a good, like, sports comedy, I might be okay with it or was okay with it back in the day. But just your run-of-the-mill sports drama, why the hell am I wanting to watch that stupid bullshit?
Entertainment, Colby.
It's not entertaining to me.
Why?
It's just
I
not.
don't get that. I mean, I kind of get it, but I don't. Because I'm about to, like, contradict myself because I don't watch most sports movies. And most that are on this list, like, we went through it before the show, and you're like, we can't even do this list because neither one of us has seen most of these movies.
No.
Well, they're going to vote on the movies anyway.
Okay. We're about to. So if you're a big sports movie fan, congratulations. You're about to be pissed.
That's what we're going for.
Is it?
And if you disagree with our decisions, we want to hear from you. Why don't I have the line open?
This is the Skip Bayless segment, I guess.
Gross. Don't ever say that name.
We're just trying to make people mad.
Because we've got some movies on here. A lot of them, I have seen a lot of them. Colby has seen a few of them.
Yes.
We're going to bring the old coin flip back into it.
We're going to need it.
We're going to need it probably more times than not.
Yep.
But it also is going to initiate another segment down the road of the sports movies we've actually seen.
Okay.
And we'll go through those. He's going to put together a list, maybe 10.
If I can find them.
I'm going to put together a list of maybe 10. And if we cross some of those, then, it'll be just one. And then we're just going to come up with our favorite sports movies. And the coin probably, since those are two different lists, we'll probably just have to decide every one.
All right.
Or we can get a third in here. Mm-hmm. But you already said you don't like vibrating anal beads, so I don't know what we're going to do with a third.
We're not going to do that.
Oh, we're not?
Meatloaf, that situation.
Oh, I could go for some meatloaf.
I won't do that.
Oh, you meant the song. Mm-hmm. All right.
He was talking about butt stuff in that song, by the way.
I think everyone knows that.
Okay.
Which is weird because it's not that bad of a thing. Like, I would have figured it would be a much worse thing.
He'll do anything for love, but
not that.
But not the butt.
Well, look, first of all, not to get off topic here, butt sex has nothing to do with love. There's nothing love-oriented with butt sex, okay?
In your mind. Maybe in other people's minds.
Well, those are dirty people. And I thought I was a dirty people.
I mean, you are.
There you go. We're dirty people, Colby. Mm. I learned it from you, okay?
No, I didn't teach you butt sex.
Mark, play that for a guest. During an interview. Oh, that'd be so great. We need to do a drop interview up here sometime. We got enough of them.
We've said enough stupid shit that
we have.
Yeah.
Colby, let's start with our brackets here.
Okay.
As we're going to go through, it's 1 through 8 on two different sides. Colby, the 1 seed Rocky versus the 8 seed Cool Runnings.
Rocky wins.
Would anybody pick Cool Runnings over Rocky?
I mean, I've seen both of these movies, which is probably an oddity for this whole thing.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to happen again. How about Talladega Nights versus Jerry Maguire?
I don't care.
Have you seen either?
No.
You haven't seen either one of those?
I have not.
All right, well, then I win. It's Talladega Nights.
Okay.
Because I've seen both. Show me the money. Now, one movie that I can't believe you haven't seen is Miracle.
Nope.
Because that is an incredible movie.
I watched The Real Thing. Why I got to watch a movie about it?
You didn't watch The Real Thing.
I did too.
You saw the actual game. You didn't see the story behind the game, which is interesting.
They weren't filming at that point.
That's why they had to make the movie.
Okay, fine. I don't need to know.
As angry as Colby gets at me for my Dak Prescott takes, this is what his movie takes do to me.
Okay, I don't care.
Colby, Miracle or the Mighty Ducks?
I've seen the Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
I guess the Mighty Ducks.
All right, well, I take Miracle because the Mighty Ducks were stupid. So you can see the coin. I don't have to show it on camera, right?
Right.
Oh, we didn't figure out what's going to be what.
No, we didn't.
Mighty Ducks are heads because they have a head on their duck.
Okay. You're bad at that. Next time, leave it to me.
Oh, and look, it's tails.
All right, then.
Miracle wins. It's going to win the whole thing.
Better not.
Would you like The Sandlot or Moneyball?
You know what? Jeff Kavanaugh always told me how great The Sandlot was. So give me The Sandlot.
All right, well, I take Moneyball because The Sandlot was stupid.
All right.
It was dumb. My wife made me watch it. That made me hate it even more.
Okay.
No, I didn't cry in it either. All right, what's heads? Since I was bad at that.
So heads, because of Brad Pitt's head is in most of the trailers, you go with that.
Oh, that's better than what I came up with. All right, what's the coin say, Colby?
It says tails.
It says Sandlot.
Sandlot wins.
Sandlot Charities always wins. Go check it out. Mm-hmm. Colby, Hoosiers. God, I hope Rob's listening from the Fighting Irish Blitz. Hoosiers or The Longest Yard? Now, this can be either one of The Longest Yards. You said you've seen some of the Adam Sandler one.
I've seen all of the Adam Sandler one, and I've seen a little, like half of the Burt Reynolds.
Okay,
one.
I've never seen the Adam Sandler one, which is a rarity because I've seen every Adam Sandler movie. But one of my favorite movies of all time is the Burt Reynolds Longest Yard.
Now, I've been told Burt Reynolds version was so much better.
There's no question it was better.
But either way,
Or Hoosiers.
the Adam Sandler one had a lot of good wrestlers in it, so go with that one for me.
All right, well, I also have Longest Yard.
So it doesn't matter. He wins.
Screw you, Hoosiers. It's a terrible movie, by the way.
Take that,
Probably almost ruined Gene Hackman's career.
Larry Bird.
I think it was about Larry Bird.
Okay.
We're going to piss a lot of people off with this. Colby?
Uh-huh.
I've never seen either one of these,
Okay.
so we're going based on what I know about them. Friday Night Lights.
Spawned a TV series.
It did, and it's based on Texas, things in Texas.
It is.
Or I don't even know what this movie is. I've never heard of this movie in my life. Coach Carter. What the hell is Coach Carter?
I believe I know what Coach Carter is, but it didn't spawn a TV series.
So it's Friday Night Lights?
I'm going with Friday Night Lights.
You know what? I will yield to that. FNL. Now, Colby, these, of course, on this huge list, they put two of my all-time favorite movies up against each other in the first round.
All right.
The Waterboy
Seen it.
or Major League.
I'm sorry, Waterboy.
Oh, it's Major League without
It's
doubt.
Major League.
What?
It's Major League.
You just said it's Waterboy.
No, I said I'm sorry, Waterboy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Waterboy. Okay, good. Well, we agree on that one. We don't need
Major League.
It is. And then,
Crank it, Jerry.
and then, Colby, one of the other most overrated movies maybe of our lifetime.
Oh, dear.
Did not require a movie. It wasn't that big of a deal. They sensationalized.
Okay.
Man, words are hard.
I mean, for you.
They over-sensationalized this whole thing that they based this whole movie around, and it's stupid. Rudy versus White Men Can't Jump.
Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes. That wins.
Zero question that wins.
All right.
Screw you, Rudy. What'd you ever do? You didn't even make the team.
Actually a bad guy in real
Come
life.
on. Yeah, he went to Notre Dame.
Also, he went to prison.
And he did go to prison. Colby, the other side of the page, first round. Remember the Titans or Bend It Like Beckham?
Well, one of these has been quoted at me more times than I can count, and the other one I have no idea existed except for the movie title. So I'm going to go with Remember the Titans.
I never saw Remember the Titans. Isn't that the one that had Denzel in it?
Yep.
Well, then I have to go with Bend It Like Beckham because it had an amazing looking, what's her name?
No.
Keira Knightley, right?
You know what? I'm just not going to allow that. Just you can't even go to the coin.
I can't vote for a Denzel Washington movie.
You can't do this.
What was Remember the Titans about? Let me guess. They were a team that played really bad. He took over as coach, and then they won.
It's a soccer movie, you dump truck idiot.
But with hot chicks.
You're voting for soccer.
I'm so torn on this one, man.
Don't be a dummy.
It's Keira Knightley, though.
Do not be an idiot.
Some
right
hot
now.
Indian chicks.
Stop being stupid.
All right, we'll go Denzel.
Remember the Titans. I got you past that one, okay? For all who remember the Titans fans, I got it there.
Sorry, Kira.
For belittling Tim enough and making him realize he was voting for a soccer movie.
Colby, the best 4 words any dude can ever hear. You wore me down. Not from another dude, typically, though.
Right.
Colby, A League of Their Own? Saw it.
Yep.
Or We Are Marshall?
A League of Their Own.
Starring our buddy.
I mean, it has Gina Davis and Tom Hanks.
And Madonna.
I was
Still hot Madonna.
Yeah, Gina Davis was
Yeah.
the thing for me.
I got you. League of Their Own. Based on a true story, so therefore credibility. Colby, Rocky 2.
Wow.
Or the movie that we have just now come to find out through legal battles and proceedings was a complete lie, The Blind Side.
Yeah, I gotta go Rocky 2.
I mean, you have to, right? The next one's zero contest. I shouldn't even bring it up to you. as we have Caddyshack. Not just one of the greatest sports movies ever, one of the greatest movies, period, ever in any genre, versus something called Love and Basketball that sounds like a BET TV show.
It's not that, but yeah, go with Caddyshack.
Thank God. Colby, another one of the greatest cinematic treasures in the history of the universe of America and mankind, Field of Dreams, versus something called, is this a cheerleading movie? Bring It On? Okay, we don't need movies about cheerleaders. And I was one, and I still say we don't need movies about cheerleaders.
This is where I would get you back. If you had done that whole thing to Remember the Titans, this is where I would have gotten you back. Because I don't really care if you build it, they will come and all that other.
Yeah, that was hokey. It was just a good movie.
And Bring It On, I've actually almost attempted to hit play on it a couple of times.
Why?
Just because.
Cheerleading.
Just because.
You don't make sense to me.
Just
All right.
almost.
I'm making the call. It's Field of Dreams.
Okay. No, you got it because you didn't do that stupid thing with Bend It Like Beckham.
Still say Keira Knightley over Denzel Washington. Colby, another dumb movie that I refused to watch because it was just dumb. And nobody would ever believe Al Pacino is a football coach. I don't care how great the stupid sports thing was. Any Given Sunday.
Yep.
Going against an actual classic, cinematic classic, Raging Bull.
It's a pretty good boxing movie.
It's still boxing. It's like soccer.
No, don't equate boxing and soccer, sir.
Badminton.
I did like A Longest Yard, though. I mean,
we're not on The Longest Yard.
Any Given Sunday.
Okay, well then vote for Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Well, I got Raging Bull, so what does that mean?
Grab a bull by the horns, not the tail. So
Depends on what her name is.
Raging Bull would be your heads.
All right, here we go. We're flipping, Colby. What's the coin say?
It says heads.
Raging Bull versus Keira Knightley. Colby? Oh, man, two more that are great together in the same freaking piece of crap. And I love both of these movies, and I watch them every time they're on, so this is probably going to be you. Happy Gilmore.
Okay.
I can't believe you've never seen Happy Gilmore.
I have seen it.
Oh, you have? You just hated it.
Yeah. I mean, no,
Not an Adam Sandler fan, though, are you?
I mean, at the time I was, and I actually did the Happy Gilmore swing for quite a while.
Okay.
On the golf course.
Lots of people have tried that. Against where we got ESPN 8 The Ocho from. Dodgeball.
Dodgeball. Oh, my God.
I just, dude.
If
It's a tough one for me.
If you can dodge a wrench.
You can dodge a ball.
I got to go Happy Gilmore, though. I have
Really?
to. Yeah.
All right, well, that makes me happy, Gilmore. I didn't think you would say that. And then finally, a no contest, Space Jam versus the Karate Kid.
How's it a no contest?
Because the Karate Kid was stupid?
No.
It was very stupid.
It's a Karate Kid.
No. It's Space Jam and Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan. And Newman from...
It was okay, but the Karate Kid with the crane kick and all the things, man.
Stupid karate. None of it was real. Like, Space Jam was real.
No, shut up.
All right, you're going the Karate Kid?
I think we're on Karate Kid on this one.
Fine, I'll let you have Karate Kid. Jesus Christ. Stupidest movie I ever saw. Colby into round two over in the East or in the West bracket.
No, Karate Kid 3 may have been the stupidest.
They made more?
Oh, yeah. They made 3 of those things.
Oh, God.
And then there was the reboot.
You know what? That's why 9/11 happened.
No, it wasn't.
Because of the Karate Kid movies.
No, it sure wasn't.
Colby. Probably get some backlash for that one.
Maybe.
In the second round of the West bracket, Rocky versus Talladega Nights.
Rocky.
I can't really argue with that one. Rocky's kind of the diehard of this bracket, I think.
Yeah.
Miracle versus The Sandlot.
Sandlot.
Miracle.
Okay, flip it.
Jesus Christ. Wait, what's heads?
Huh?
What's heads?
Tails is Sandlot.
Okay. What do you got?
It's heads.
Miracle. Kurt Russell, by the way. Colby, longest yard or Friday Night Lights?
Longest yard.
Absolutely. And then finally, Major League versus White Men Can't Jump.
Major League.
Absolutely. God, this is going to be easy. Now, second round over in the East bracket, Colby. Remember the Titans or a league of their own?
Sorry, your Titans. It's a league of their own for me.
It is, absolutely.
There's no crying in baseball.
It was a great movie. Rocky 2, crap, versus Caddyshack.
Rocky 2.
Really?
Yeah,
No,
sports
I'm going
movie.
Caddyshack. Sports movie.
Sports movie.
All right, coin, whose heads?
Oh, Bill Murray's head.
Bill Murray's head. What do we got?
It's heads.
Sorry, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
That may be dumb right there.
Is that not the same one? Rocky and Bullwinkle wasn't in Rocky 2?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the squirrel versus the moose. Winner takes all.
Cage match?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Colby, Field of Dreams or Raging Bull?
A Raging Bull.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take that one. Colby, Happy Gilmore or the Karate Kid?
I'm going to go Happy Gilmore.
Wow! I am shocked. Colby, we've got some big wigs here, some hard hitters here in the quarterfinals. We'll start back over in the West. The 1 seed Rocky versus the 3 seed Miracle Whip.
It's Rocky. Rocky wins.
Rocky wins.
No, go ahead.
How about the 8 seed, the longest yard, versus the 3 seed Major League?
Oh, that's Major League.
It is Major League.
I know we're ripping through these
As
guys.
they advance to the final. Well, there's not much to talk about.
Right.
Over in the East quarterfinal or semifinals, we have the 4 seed, A League of Their Own, versus the 2 seed Caddyshack.
I feel like I'll let down Ben and Skin when I say this. And maybe you, but I got to go League of Their Own.
Of course you do. And I have to go Caddyshack.
Bill Murray's head.
Bill Murray's head. Colby.
Heads wins.
Caddyshack advances. And finally, we have the 5 seed Raging Bull versus the 3 seed Happy Gilmore.
I'm going to go Happy Gilmore.
I am too.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Who would have thought here in the finals, in the conference finals for each side, we have Rocky versus Major League, and we have Caddyshack versus Happy Gilmore. 3, Colby, 3 of the 4 finalists are comedies.
They are.
Shockingly, I can't believe that.
So
Marry Mina Kimes one day.
I think this Rocky versus Major League is actually should be your finals in my mind.
I'm not far from you there, but it's not.
So
we're going Rocky, the 1 seed, versus Major League, the 3 seed in the West.
I've got to go Rocky. Because, you want to know why? Because the rest of the Rocky movies were awesome, except for that one time he fought that dude with AIDS.
Tommy Morrison?
Yeah.
He didn't, not like his character didn't have AIDS.
No, I know.
The actor had AIDS. Tommy Morrison.
Right. But every other one was amazing. Major League spawned Major League 8 back to the minors.
To the minors? Was there a Major League 3? I think there was.
Yeah, no, there was a Major League 2, and then there was a Major League 3. I think that was back to the minors.
Major League 2, we made it. Electric Boogaloo.
Well, remember, they changed who was Willie Mays Hayes in the second one.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. All right, well, so you're going Rocky.
I am.
I'm going Major League, which means we're going to the coin for a finals.
Oh, my God.
So who's heads?
Well, in the first one, Rocky ended up falling on his keister at the end,
Okay.
so let's go Rocky's tails.
Rocky is tails. Here we go. Uh-oh.
Rocky wins.
We have Rocky. And over in the East, we have Caddyshack versus Happy Gilmore.
Golf versus golf.
Wow.
I got more enjoyment out of Happy Gilmore than I did Caddyshack.
Well, I lost my virginity in a movie theater watching Caddyshack. So I kind of have to go with Caddyshack.
It doesn't matter to me who wins, so if you want Caddyshack to win, go right ahead.
So we don't have to go to the coin?
You don't have to.
All right. I mean, we're going to go to the coin either way.
Okay.
Because you're going to have Rocky in the finals.
Rocky wins.
And I'm going to have Caddyshack, which wins. Caddyshack wins.
No.
Caddyshack's a better movie than Rocky.
It is not, sir.
It's a better sports movie than Rocky.
It is not,
So we're going to leave it a tie or we want to go to the coin? I feel like having a tie would just piss people off. We should probably do that.
But the other side of it is there's no film critic, sports critic. If this was like the battle of which movie was funnier, okay, yeah, Caddyshack should win.
Well, I hope so.
But we are going in the sports movie bracket.
Adrian!
One is all about the sport. The other is mostly about smoking doobies and partying and chasing a gopher.
I like all of those things.
Yeah, but it's not really about the golf aspect of it.
It is.
It's not.
Judge Smells and the Smells kid picking his booger. It's about gambling is what it's about. $5 says the Smells kid eats his booger.
I've got to go Rocky.
All right, I'm going to go Caddyshack. So whose heads? Bill Murray's head?
Bill Murray's head.
All right, we're going to go 3 out of 5, or 3 coins here. The best 2 out of 3 coins at one time.
Okay.
You ready, Colby?
Yeah. That's dumb.
This Caddyshack is your ultimate winner.
By the way,
by a coin flip.
This bracket didn't have the greatest sports movie of all time in it anyway. Necessary Roughness.
Necessary Roughness. That was in the last bracket that we did, though, right? What was that one? I forgot what that one was.
I don't know, but Necessary Roughness, especially when you have Kathy Ireland as your kicker.
As your kicker.
Yeah.
Oh,
so there you go.
So there's your sports bracket of the week, if you want to call it that, because it's weird that we haven't seen any of them.
Now, admittedly, okay, guys, the reason why I don't like to watch sports movies is not just because of the sports dramas. I don't like dramas anyway. I'm not a big fan. And then you try and make the sports that I watch, as far as, you know, your real time, all of that, and you try and do the dramatic things and the balls in the air and is he going to catch it?
The slow-mo.
Oh my God. By the way, Replacements is another good movie they left out of there.
Keanu.
That's right.
And Gene Hackman.
So, but I can't do the whole, because I know what's going to happen. They're going to get to
so predictable.
The final game. They barely made it. Oh my God, the build up, the tension. That's actually what kind of made like Major League for me a little different. It's because they won, but that was just, they didn't win the whole thing. They actually lost, didn't get to the World Series or whatever. And it's like, oh my God, hey, that's pretty cool. You just beat your rival Chicago team.
New York.
Was it New York?
Yeah. It was the fake Yankees. The Fankies. You know what? You and I talked about our reasons we hate sports movies sometimes. We talked about that off the air before the show. And a lot of it's just the ridiculousness of the sports movie.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned how in movies, the announcers in the booth that are doing the play-by-play are also the stadium announcers.
Right.
And they're literally doing everything.
Now batting. What do you think about this guy, Tim? What are you doing?
It's not how it works, although that'd be kind of a funny bit.
I just didn't like that. I don't like when they're running the fancy play and it always works and all that. It's just everything fits
the script.
I just know.
Because one of my biggest pet peeves about, and this was when I saw it in the movie theater, about Waterboy. You got Jerry Reed's team over here, right? The fighting, whatever they were, University of Louisiana, whatever it was. University of Louisiana. No, it wasn't that. Whatever the hell it was. She's got all these national championship rings, and he's playing for another national championship in the Bourbon Bowl against a team that hasn't won a game.
Right.
How is that a national championship game?
Well, it's before, you know.
But it's the bowl game. That's the final game of the season.
Yeah,
you can't hold anything back. By the way, Brent Musburger and Dan Fouts, great actors. We know, Dan, we know. That's what we need to come up with our biggest pet peeves of sports movies.
It's that. I mean, I like the boxing movies. I'm okay with those because of the setups and everything. But it's the whole team gets together and we find a way, the ragtag group. And come on.
I do. I don't like the predictability of all of it. It's very predictable.
But even when I hate it more when it's like, we're going to tell the story.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, how could I not watch Miracle? We're going to tell the story.
It's an amazing story, dude.
Then fine, tell me. I don't need you to spend $1 million whatever dollars paying actors to act out the scenes. Just
it did very well. It was a Disney movie. You love Disney.
No, I mean, don't, and I didn't at the time.
All right.
They kind of took over the things that I like.
Take us to a late break.
Yeah. All right. So coming up next, we may ask Tim about self-checkout kiosk fines, but also news and notes. That's all coming up on the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show.
Hello, sports fans.
FanStream Sports.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything. Turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
All right, guys, time to talk a little bit about Turf Life. You've seen the hats on our heads. You've been or seen the video of the studio. You've seen that the decals are all over the place. Turf Life. Man, it's the brand that salutes the consumer and industry players everywhere whose lives involve turf. What does that mean? That means if you play or have a business or, maybe you're a sports educator, you're going to be on turf at some point. So you live the turf life. So go ahead and tell everybody you live the turf life by having your Turf Life window decal or, the hat or the keychain or the something. Along that lines, just go to turflifeclub.com and become a turf head. That's what it's called when you live the turf life. You're now a turf head. And you can go join the club today and snag that window decal or snag any other special Turf Life accessories and go over there to that website, which is turflifeclub.com, and get your stuff and show everybody that, man, I'm all about that turf life. And then you just kind of raise your coffee mug at them and go, yeah, turf life, baby. That's what it's about. And then that's the end of the commercial. Ding. That means it's done in microwave talk.
Hello, golf friends. It's IndyCar Tim from the Rough. I want to take just a minute here and tell you about our new friends over at Orca Golf. They make high-quality PGA Tour-grade golf bags, and they're the best in the business. They're the real deal. They're the best bags I've ever seen. They even designed a bag for the Golden Bear himself, Jack Nicklaus. Head over to orca-golf.com and pick up a great bag from their catalog, or let them customize one just for you. You can use your own custom colors, your own logo, you name it. You work with actual designers, and nothing goes out without the approval of founder Erica Bennett. She's just brilliant. Visit orca-golf.com, that's orca-golf.com, and use our promo code DSP10 for 10% off and free shipping. Do it today. Orca Golf, best choice in-game.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com.
Hey, listeners, make sure you check out the brand new FanStream Sports in-studio text line. You can reach us during any of our live shows or 24/7 at 214-937-0569. That's 214-937-0569. Text us 24/7 day or night, and we'll reply to you and make you part of the show.
Coming back at you.
Now, more FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show right here on FanStream Sports. Coming at you on a Wednesday.
Easy for what?
Wednesday, I believe is the way it's pronounced in the English America.
Okay.
Colby, just saw something interesting here on the ESPNU in front of us in the studio, one of the 72 TVs that we have in the studio. As we've got
oversell on the amount of TVs, but all right.
Apparently, we've got the fake Mark Followell doing sideline reporting for SC State versus Jackson State. Jackson State is up 17-0 in the third. Second half just underway. They're at the MEAC SWAC Cricket Kickoff Challenge.
Oh, man. It's also got the fake Chris Arnold.
There's a fake white Chris Arnold.
Uh-huh.
God, but the biggest question I have is the chick doing play-by-play.
What about it?
Why is there a chick doing play-by-play on my TV in my sports?
I couldn't hear because it's on mute. So I don't know. I can't tell you how good of a job. I didn't look at her name.
Tiffany. Well, I said it though. Tiffany something.
I mean, I don't listen to you.
Are you a fan of the? It was Jackson State breaks one. Are you a fan of the female sports? Not sportscaster. Because one of my favorite talk shows on the radio is Amy Lawrence. I love me some A-Law radio.
Okay.
The sports announcer, I guess the play-by-play. And there's a difference. I'll say this. The difference between the girl doing play-by-play and the girl doing the color commentary. Doris Burke, I think, is an amazing color analyst for basketball for the NBA.
And she could probably be an amazing play-by-play.
She could be. But there's a lot of women that can't do either. They're just giving shots because they feel like they have to give shots to the ladies.
No, I don't know if I feel exactly like that. There's as far as your football players and your ex-players that go into it, I feel like they're giving them shots, even though they don't deserve one, just because of how much information they have in their head and just the credibility that they bring to a booth. But when I see a woman that's made her way to being play-by-play or a sports analyst or something along that lines, they've had to fight through being that sideline reporter, and now I'm like, wow, they must have something. But so without even hearing her, I automatically just thought she's probably awesome.
See, I went the other way.
Because she's this amount of crap that you've got to fight through in order to get that position has to be high. And because her face doesn't bring sports credibility to it because of the male influence on obviously on Americanized football.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she's there, as soon as she popped up and and I realized she was the play-by-play because she was sitting on that side of it. I was like,
yep.
I imagine she is kick ass at this, and I kind of like to hear what she sounds like.
Wow. That's the exact opposite of where I went.
Right, because you have a lot of old school and dated thinking
Colby,
that women can't do.
If she appeared on our good, bad, and ugly list,
she would. That's the other thing. She wouldn't have made it on. She wouldn't have been the pretty.
She wouldn't have been my good or my bad, but she'd have been on the list.
Right. And nothing against her. Again, we didn't say her name out loud. She wasn't up there for her looks. So you know what she had to be up there for? Really damn good at play-by-play.
I mean, it's ESPNU, and it's SC State, and it's Jackson State. This football game does not have the same audience as our show right now.
Okay, that being said, that spot had to have been looked at for somebody up and coming that was really wants to get in the play-by-play game that fits the mold of your play-by. Probably was itching to have that.
She's probably itching somewhere.
See, I know you're trying to take it down the comedic ditch.
I don't think she's good. I can tell by looking at her. I don't think she's good.
See, that's stupid. That's actually not. I mean, I can't even. That's nowhere near smart.
I just don't get it. I don't get women in sports. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. Someone teach me.
I'm trying to, but you'll just sit there and say, I still don't get it.
But you don't know if she's good.
No, but
you give her the benefit of the doubt that she's good because she's on TV, right?
I give her the benefit of doubt because of all the other things that we just put up there. There's reasons why you put people on the TV screen. One, they're super talented. Two, that's all you got. Or three, beautiful as all hell. Not beautiful. Not sorry, she's not. All right, so the only one you got, I don't think that's the list because I can see the door being, you want your chance on ESPN to do the play-by-play? I'm sure that line forms to the left.
Well, considering this is ESPN and they just fired everybody, it probably literally is the bottom of the barrel.
You know what? It could be, but even though they fired all the high-tone people, you sure there's not people running around there that could do this, that would fit the mold better? The fact that she doesn't makes me automatically go, then she has to be talented as all hell.
I wish I could think that way. But the problem is there's a lot of guys out there doing the same job that I don't think are very good.
To my point.
Huh.
That is actually to my point.
By the way, she would be on my good. Not her, the other girl. Not the pregnant one on the Globe Life commercial. By the way, your Rangers took the lead in front of the Mets 5-3 now.
They did. They tried to fuddle it up by having bases loaded and then hit into a double play. But then Jonah Heim came up there and said, "Nuh-uh, bees."
He Heimed the crap out of them.
He did. He hit him with the old Heiminator.
He Heimed the Mets. And Colby, I do believe that we have bullshitted our way through that second to last segment.
Oh, so you're just gonna keep. By the way, if we ever get to self-checkout kiosk fines at any point in time, we've ran out of stuff to talk about because I think he just puts that there just on the run sheet just in case.
Colby, I had a segment years ago before you joined the show, and it was me and Big Red on the Drunk Sports Podcast. A segment that sat on the run sheet for 8 months that we never did get to. I just kept pushing it, and then by that point it was a joke, and we tease it before every show. We tease it after the previous segment or before the previous segment and stuff. And I don't remember what it was, but we never got to it. 8 months. I think this might be one of those.
Self-checkout kiosk fines. Not happening
It's
tonight.
an interesting story, though. We'll get to it one of these days.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, me. Thank you for making us sound good. News and Notes is where I search the World Wide Web for the weird.
Internets.
And by God, I found it. We're doing a little update on a story that we had the last time I was here. You guys doing News and Notes. And
Can I update you real quick?
Sure.
Not to interrupt. The Mets and the Rangers are not going into extra innings.
Damn it.
Oops.
So the update to this story was because of Nicholas Olenek.
Oh, yes.
You may remember him as the guy that had the emotional support emu.
Yep.
So there's been a story written about him and how he came across his emotional support emu.
By the way, I call that band name.
Right. So he was going to see a therapist, and because he was experiencing grief and depression after his brother and his father died in the span of less than 2 years. And it was a little too much for him, and he never felt as low as he had been, and he was looking for anything to help. So he ended up going to this therapist who prescribed him to get an emotional support animal. So the therapist was trying to figure out what kind of animal he would like to, have. And they went through the whole questionnaire and everything. And he, because of how he answered it, it came up with emu. The fact that was an option on the therapist's list of kind of makes me think that this guy raised emus on the side. So anyway, Nicholas went out and he got him a just freshly hatched emu. If they hatch, I'm not
Wait,
sure.
I was going to say they hatch, huh?
I don't know. Just he got an emu baby, right? Took it home and he fed it and brought it all through emu life. And now it's a fully grown emu. And that's the reason why he was now trying to get his emotional support emu on the plane ride that got him into news and notes. Jesus. But through this story, the other thing that happened was a neighbor complained he was keeping the emu, and it also caught off a legal fight with city officials, which he ultimately won because he was prescribed this emu. So it's kind of like being prescribed pot. He was prescribed this emu.
Go through the drive-through emu pot store.
That's right. Although, in reading this article, the American Emu Association are not supporting having emus as pets. But it's okay for him to have it.
It's gotta be
I
somebody.
need to sidetrack real quick. There's an American Emu Association. That's actually the news update that I wanted to get to,
Burying the lead.
because in order to be an association, there's probably more than just one guy sitting behind a computer going, wait, gotta help the emus. I imagine there's like a president of the American Emu Association and like a vice president. Do you think they make good money being the American Emu Association? And do we need to go pick a random animal to be the American whatever animal association?
Colby, we need to be the American Bedbug Association.
American Wolverine Association.
There's probably one of those already.
Probably.
We're in Texas. How about armadillos?
The American Honey Badger Association. I don't know. Maybe try and trial the cool animals first. We'll look them up on the internet until we find a cool animal that nobody's an association for, and then we'll be the association for that animal.
Jackalopes.
Jackalopes. We're the American Jackalopes Association. Then all we got to do is get all the people that are jackalope and have them give us a little money.
Colby, if there's a lope, I'll jack it.
That's right. So let's go from there to Philly, where there's some robbers that tried to rob a Wendy's in Philly. There's about 4 of them, and
4 Wendy's or 4 guys?
four of them. That this was about 1 a.m. and they pulled up into. The driver pulled up in an SUV at 1 a.m. and managed to brandish a firearm through the drive-thru to actually get into the building. So the person behind the counter was like, dude, it's fine. You can have whatever remnants are in the cash register, and I know you want me to get into this safe, but I don't know the combination to that safe. It just opens, and it ain't opening now.
Yeah, like most of them do.
Right. So he didn't buy that, and he had the person go in there and try and figure out the combination to the safe. And, of course, they were fiddling with it and couldn't actually pull that maneuver off because, again, they don't actually know the combination. And so this particular robber thought, well, hell, if it won't open for you with a combination, I have a gun.
No.
He shoots this safe like 4 times. Nobody was injured, but needless to say, the bullets ricocheted all over the place.
Bing, bing, bing.
After he fired off these 4 bullets, and he, of course, realized why they call it a safe. Just
Wasn't a very experienced robber, was he?
no. And when in doubt, shoot it. So they're still on the lookout for this guy. You can probably find him. He's probably the one that's pants is full of shit from shooting a safe and watching the bullets ricocheting all over the place.
It'd be funny if he died.
He did not. Let's go from there
Was he a
to
girl?
Portland, Maine. No. Nobody knows. I mean, he's a dude, but anyway, we're going to Portland, Maine.
Been there, Colby.
As an 86-year-old man is accused of assuming another person's identity. 86.
Kind of waited a while, didn't he?
He didn't. He's been getting away with this for a long time. So what happened was this 86-year-old man was caught on a one of those facial recognition softwares.
Oh, no.
And he was caught, and when it pulled him up on the software, it had his driver's license and his social security number, and it also had somebody else's with the same face.
Oh.
He was at the Social Security office up there to just make sure and pick up his normal check that wasn't his, that he'd been doing for years.
Oh, my God.
Seems in 1965, when his brother passed away as a child, his mama set him up not only on his Social Security, but also that of his dead brothers. And she told him, when you get older and you start collecting Social Security, you'll be able to collect 2 checks.
Wow. So did he even know it was wrong?
His mama told him to do it.
Yeah, got to do what Mama says.
Mama's right, man. He had been doing this for years. In fact, since 1965, whenever he would go fill something out, he would either fill it out under his name or under his brother's name, just to keep up the identity of his brother that had passed.
Oh, my God.
So the potential prison sentence is up to 20 years. He's 86. I think you just go ahead and just let him get away with it. He's gotten away with it this long, right?
It's a victimless crime.
Kinda is. Stupid facial recognition software actually working.
His mama told him to.
Yeah, that's his defense. Mama said.
My mama said.
Yeah. Poor guy. So,
Wow.
news and notes. This will be a regular segment, and you'll hear this every once in a while, as during news and notes, I just come across a headline that I have to read you, and I didn't read the story. This is from KGOU.org. How come Oklahoma has so many lesbian bars? ? That's the headline.
I don't know why, Colby. Why?
I don't.
Sounds like a joke.
I mean, it is, but Oklahoma is the queen of lesbian bars.
I thought it was Denton, Texas, to be honest with you. Colby, you ever been to, what was the name of it? Damn it, there was a really funny named one up in Denton on University. Mabel Peabody's something in chainsaw repair. It's a lesbian bar up there.
Now, do dudes show up at lesbian bars
I mean, I went there once or twice.
as a joke?
Just
Or
because I was thirsty.
and you just went in there to figure nothing would happen?
Oh, man, I didn't pick any girls up, if that's what you're wondering.
I mean, I think you would.
It wasn't a very target-rich environment for me.
I imagine not.
They poured pretty heavy. I mean, it was good.
All right,
Cheap.
then. Just, I mean, like, I can understand, like, the gay bars situations.
Mabel Peabody's Beauty Parlor and Chainsaw Repair. That's
Gotcha.
it.
I can understand the want for, like, women to go into. It's like a safe place. They're not going to go there to get hit on.
Yeah.
Dudes are there. Everything's cool, right?
Yeah.
Just the reverse of the lesbian bar. I think that would be just strictly, except for the Tims that show up, just mostly just your target-rich environment for your lesbian folks.
Showing up out of curiosity and because I'm thirsty. I mean,
There you go.
come on.
Let's go from there to Chicago, where a 47-year-old man is in custody after he lured 2 firefighters into his Southside home. So he lured them in there where the floor was covered with gasoline. All right, here's what happened. This man calls 911, says, I'm thinking about setting my house on fire. Actually, I am doing it. So the firefighters show up, and he's like, all right, this is where I was going to set it on fire at. And so they're like, oh, crap. All right, so what do we do? Well, he holds a knife to him and shuts the door. He's like, now I've got you. He's going to, like, set this damn thing on fire. Also, by the way, this same guy was convicted nearly 20 years ago of murdering a rap producer in Austin, according to police.
Wow.
Just on a side note. So once down there, the firefighters did not smell gas, but saw the suspect quickly going upstairs. They followed up to the top of the staircase, were confronted with the suspect pointing a large knife at them and a strong odor of accelerant. The entrance of the home had been boarded up. You want to set this bitch on fire. Other firefighters outside heard screams and busted through the window to save him. But this dude was setting up his own little saw murder trap.
Yep.
And they made it all out of it. They got the guy out and everything along that lines. But, you know, the group of firefighters now with a dude with a knife, they had to basically subdue him.
Yeah.
But he was going to set up his own, his little murder, death, kill room.
What's wrong with people?
Now, I mean, you don't know what's happening, but if I was those 2 firefighters, I'd be like, sure. Set your place on fire, dude. We'll be there once it's burning. And you're possibly dead.
God, that's dark.
I'm not going.
It's dark.
This kind of goes back to the other story, but also this has its own little twist. So, Genus, that's her name, Walker, her 95-year-old grandfather passed away. And their thought was, well, let's not have a funeral. We can just bury him in the backyard. So they did.
It's never a good idea.
The reason why they did that is so they could still have his checks come to the house.
Oh, my God.
So not only did they not have to pay for a funeral,
make some money.
But they made some money off of it and lived off of it. Here, problem. So the VA started realizing that he's not coming by for his normal visits and such. What's up? He's disappeared. So they had a welfare check happen. Of course, he wasn't there.
Oh, he's at the barber shop.
Yeah, Bruce Brown wasn't there. They looked out the backyard, and there was the dump hill of dirt. And they're like, okay, that matches about the exact same length of a body. What's out there? So Janice is like, so they dug him up and found him in a homemade coffin.
Oh, my God.
Now, of course, Janice is accused of, stealing from the government. The government's not usually kind about that. And also burying Grandpa in the backyard. So,
oh my Lord.
She does her picture, by the way, does look like somebody that would bury Grandpa in the backyard.
She looks like she was buried in the backyard.
That's actually, yeah.
She looks like she should be doing play-by-play on ESPNU.
Now, remember last week when we had, not that lady looks a lot worse than that other lady did. That other lady looked very talented indeed. Now, last week we had actually it was Monday. We had the story about the truck full of shit that had the accident on the highway and covered the road in liquid feces. Well, we're going up to Toronto where there was, oh my God, there's a truck that had over 5 million bees at the back of it.
God, which would be worse?
One of the bee cages fell off the back of the truck because I guess it wasn't strapped down and exploded into a bunch of angry bees.
Literally.
Now they hired a bunch of beekeepers to come out and catch all the bees. They did. But
I mean, how you can't be certain that you caught all the bees, though. I mean,
it's all the ones that made it, because I'm sure some of them in that box when it hit the ground didn't make it.
yeah. And some flew away.
Right.
Start their own families.
But they caught a lot of the bees. Actually, they say they caught all of the bees. But you, of course, bring a good point. But I can't imagine being in the car behind the bee truck and that case falls off the truck onto the road and explodes in a swarm of bees.
And you're the smoker and you got your window down?
Yeah, just like the feces thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Except now you're total full on Nick Cage going, the bees! I mean, you're dead, Tim.
Oh, I would die. Yeah,
You're
there's
dead.
no question.
So, whenever you're on the road and you think, man, it can't get any worse, remember, News and Notes has had back-to-back stories. One in Toronto, one in where I forgot, where liquid shit got spilt all over the road in front of these cars. And this one, a bunch of bees.
Man, and if you were stuck in both of those traffic accidents, just stop driving.
Yeah, just stop being driver.
Stop being.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And that's News and Notes, everybody. Casually sexting. Mm-hmm. Casually sext.
Oh, sorry. Is it okay for me to keep casually sexting?
By the way, that's really far behind.
Do whatever I want.
Your Texas Rangers lose 6-5.
Yeah, I just figured out that was behind, too, when I looked up at the score earlier. I guess I had it on pause or something, but the Rangers lose. And are now, entering today, they were on a 3-way tie for first place. So they're not in that anymore. I don't know what the Mariners and the Stros did today. But anyway, your Texas Rangers no longer in first place. That's going to do it for the Colby Sapp IndyCarTim show. I'm IndyCarTim. That's Colby. We will be back on Monday with another show. We can't promise it'll be as much fun, but we can promise we'll try. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see ya. Maybe.